to the next dimension.
Hey guys, this is UndrCrvdudes all the way from Down Under with my sudden attack combat arms transfer guide. Since the game is closing down, all the sudden attack players are going to be transferred the combat arms, and I thought making a guide for these new players would be very beneficial, since combat arms is a very different first person shooter. Now obviously the gameplay mechanics are relatively the same. You go around WASD, you just shoot people, but the stuff you need in order to succeed in combat arms is very different to that of sudden attack. Now, I'm not going to be talking about controls and gameplay. Obviously, that's staples of first-person shooters, and just stuff like that isn't really needed. Now, let's go over some simple stuff. When you go into combat arms, make sure to go and do training grounds. You get some really nice GP, and it just goes through the mechanics of the game and tells you just kind of what you need to know in order to get playing. Now, in terms of servers, there's a couple that you really need to know. Recruit is for the very low rank, so the majority of these players that are going to be transferring won't be in that server. Now, the regular server is where the vast majority of the combat arms community play. It's the main server, and such, nearly all the ranks can play in it, from SFC all the way to General of the Army. Now, Super Soldier is a server where there's bigger hitboxes and lower recoil, so it's easy to play. It's more of a casual environment, and obviously Alliances is for clan. Now, mode-wise, combat arms is fairly simple. Elimination is team deathmatch, one-man army is free-for-all, arms race is gun game, search and destroy, we've all played bomb defusal, and elimination pro is basically search and destroy without the bomb. Now, there is a couple of unique modes in combat arms, being quarantine region, hide, guns, and fire team. Now, in Quarantine Region, it's fairly simple. 1, 2, or 3 players are chosen at random each round to become the infected. The infected must infect all the humans in order to win, and the humans must stop the infected to win. It's very interesting, and definitely a mode you guys should play. But Fire Team is absolutely awesome. A group of you and 7 other players go through different missions versus NPCs. Now, there's a variety of missions available in Combat Arms. The missions available are Desert Thunder, Desert Fox, Cabin Fever, Nemexis HQ, Nemexis Labs, and yeah, that's it. They're basically the main ones. I highly suggest you guys go and play it. It's definitely a lot of fun. Now, in terms of maps, there's a few that are commonly played in combat arms. Oil Rig, Junk Fleet, Death Room, Snow Valley are the main ones. Oil Rig is by far the most played map on combat arms, so make sure you guys go and learn it. However, it's not that difficult to learn. It's fairly simple. Now, let's go and talk about your relocation in terms of what Nexon goes and gives you with the weapon and gear. Now, the terrain backpack is one of the best backpacks in the game. You can hold up to 3 extra weapons, which is great, especially that you get it for 90 days. Now, the Mercenary Harness is average in my opinion. I suggest that you guys go and buy a vest with your GP, which I'll talk about later. The Cyclops bandana is extremely good with a 7% movement speed stat, which is absolutely fantastic. The Mist Case is where you get a random weapon or item with a small chance of getting it for a permanent duration. Now, in terms of the Black Dragon skin weapons, I'm going to assume that they are for permanent. Nevertheless, these weapons are very strong in my opinion, and you've got a great arsenal straight up. The AK-47 is a hard to use weapon, but it is extremely powerful and it's capable of a 3-shot kill. However, as a trade-off, it has very high recoil. The M416 is by far the opposite. It's extremely easy to use with lower recoil and a faster fire rate, however, it has lower damage. The TRG-21 is a fantastic sniper rifle capable of doing a 1-shot kill with great accuracy and a really nice reload. The Desert Eagle is a very powerful handgun, however its inaccuracy makes it not so used along the CA community. You also get a knife called the Kukuri or the Kukuri, whatever you want to call it, and in my opinion it's fairly average. I suggest using the default knife for the extra portability. Now, along with these black dragon skin weapons, which on the whole are very good, you get a certain amount of GP depending on your sudden attack rank. Now, using this GP wisely is super important, especially since you don't get a huge amount. Overall, speed is key in combat arms, such the build I'm going to suggest to you guys will attempt to max out your speed, because that is absolutely crucial. Now make sure to go and use your terrain backpack and your Cyclops bandana. Once those expire, you can either use the normal or advanced backpack for storing your weapons. I personally use the normal one that you get at the very start of the game for the lack of a speed reduction, and since I generally only use 2 weapons in game. You guys may have a different opinion and want to carry along assault rifle, submachine gun, a sniper rifle and a shotgun. I personally only carry 2. Now, in terms of the headgear, the military bandana is the next best thing with a 5% buff, especially since it's for GP. Now, please note that generally the NX variants will always be better. There's only a very minuscule amount of cases where the GP variant is better than the NX. Now, in terms of the Hana, just don't use it. Buy the light vest, it gives you a 10% buff, and if you go and work it out overall, the 10% buff for the light vest, then you plus on the Cyclops bandana, then you take away 3% for the terrain backpack, you've got quite a lot of speed as a new player, which is really nice. Now please note that 25% speed is the maximum that anyone can get using NX. Now the other slots, the headgear and the uniform, are nice to get, but are not especially useful, so don't waste your GP on it. Now let's get your setup going. You've got your gear, now let's go and get your actual weapons. Put the M416 as your primary weapon, or the AK-47 if you want a challenge. Make sure to go and drop an ACOG sight on either one of these guns, as an ACOG is the best scope in my opinion. Now put the TRG-21 in your backpack. Most maps in combat arms require a good sniper rifle, and the TRG-21 is exactly that. Don't use the Kukuri in my opinion. You rarely use your knife and it's way too slow. The majority of the times you use your knife to get to one place to another at a very fast rate. Now use your GP to buy an M69 HE Frag Grenade. This is the most powerful grenade in combat arms and is a staple of any player's setup. It's much better than the normal frag, has a bigger radius, more damage, definitely worth buying. Now that's just a very basic guide using the guns that Nexon gives you. If you have a bit of spare GP and you guys want to go and try around with the weapons, I suggest using these ones. The G3060 assault rifle is one of the best GP guns in the game, arguably the best GP gun in the game. A 3-shot kill with a sniper rifle scope makes this gun not only good in close, medium, but also long range. It's a jack of all trades and will murder so many people. It's an amazing gun. The M6 A2 Cqb is a GP clone of the NX M416 Cqb. Lower recoil than M416 with an inbuilt scope and higher damage. Basically, if you're higher rank, make sure you pick up this weapon. The UMP submachine gun is one of the best GP SMGs and can rival NX ones with its high damage and good fire rate. Now the L96 A1 Sniper Rifle is the most used sniper rifle in the game due to its quick scoping abilities. I personally use the high-ranked Tango 51, which is on par to NX sniper rifles. Now, as I said before, I was going to be talking about pistols. Have a look at these other ones. The G23 is very good. It has a high fire rate, yet it has a quite low damage. The USP has high damage, but a low fire rate, so they're kind of, opposites to each other. However, the best in the game is the G18 Carbon Black. It's fully automatic, it's the best pistol in the game, it's basically a submachine gun in your secondary slot. I highly suggest picking it up, and it's not that high of a rank. Overall, that's all you really need in order to go and play combat arms. If you need a little bit of help, make sure to go and post a question in the comment section below. I'll definitely help you guys out. But other than that, it's Undercover Dudes, all the way from down under, out.